Good morning and welcome to Going to Work with Gena, which is an inspiremercial for STEM students. I am Dr. Gena Henderson. STEM students, this morning I want to talk to you about variables. Okay, where we left off Friday was I was basically introducing working within the Python shell, and basically I had assigned some values to numbers, declared some values to numbers, and I used a simple print command. And of course, I had an error here where I used a bracket instead of a parentheses, and so I got a error there. And then I redid it, and I actually got it to perform a command, and it resulted in 5, because 3 plus 2 is 5. Well, I want you to know that you can also work in this editor where you'll go line by line, or you can actually go and create a file. If you go file new, you can create a file and you can type different things inside the file, and then you can save the file and run module, run the file. Okay, so let's go to a file that I made up just to do this lesson today. And the file is called element input, because remember, we're on the first element. We're talking Python programming syntax, element 1, which is input. The first thing we did on Friday was we actually went and we did variable definitions using numbers and letter assignments. So that's where I said A was equal to 3, B was equal to 2. And now I want to issue a print command and say, what's A plus B? We did all of that on Friday. Now I want to go to another way that you could declare variables definitions, and that's using quotes. You can have a single quote or a double quote. So here I say C equals double quote Carolyn inside the parentheses. And I say D is equal to double quote likes dogs in double quote within parentheses. Then I add some simple commands where I say, okay, now that I made my variable assignment here using these quotations, I can actually do a simple print of C. I can actually do a simple print of D, and I can actually say, I want you to print out C plus D. Okay, so that's variable definitions using quotes, single quotes, double quotes. Now, when you put the print, you can also use the print command. You can also use the print command as a string. And so what you would do is just say print, and inside the parentheses, just go ahead and do your double quotes. So then they will recognize this as a text assignment, as a string of letters. Now you can also do a string using numbers, okay? And they will recognize this string of numbers though as text unless you assign it, you transform it from a string to a number by using math built-in conditions such as integer. If you tell them that you want this string that we had here that is text, if we want it to be a number, we could put integer in front of it and it returns a number. Now, if we put float in front of it, that means that it returns a number that has a decimal, like dot, 0.0 or 0.1 or whatever. So, float is 0.0. So these are some of the conditions. So now that I've actually made all of these commands into this file, I could actually go up here. I want to save it. And then I can actually go to run, and I can run the module. Okay, so now here it tells me that I have an input file called element input. It gave me the number 5. It gave me Carolyn. It says likes dogs. It says Carolyn likes dogs. It gave me a string. It gave me another string that's all numbers. It gave me a string that is numbers, and it gave me a string that is a decimal, so you definitely know it's a number. So these are some of the simplest things that we can do when it comes to putting in input, okay? So we can either work line by line over here in the editor, where we can immediately find out what our errors are that we're making, or we can actually put our our commands in a file and compile and run that module. Okay, so those are the things that we have done for input. So we'll actually get into a little bit more about output tomorrow. So I want to thank you for going to work with Gena. If there are any infomercials that you've missed, please don't hesitate to go to YouTube, going to work with Gena. Thank you.